have two questions for you. One is, do you love God? And the second is, are you a child of God? Probably yes. I would also say yes. But the fact is that loving God and being a child of God is not by confessing that you are a child of God or that you love God. But the Bible says in the book of John chapter 14 verse 15 that if you love me, keep my commandments. So the only way to show that you love God is by keeping his commandments. It's an action. So do you actually love God? Do you keep his commandments? To keep the commandments of God, you must be a child of God. And to be a child of God, you must be led by the Spirit of God. For the Bible said in the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 17 that those who are led by the Spirit of God, they are the children of God. So to be a child of God, you have to be led by the Spirit of God. It's not enough to come out and say, I am a child of God. You confess it every day. It is about being led by the Spirit of God. And those who are not led by the Spirit of God are those that the Bible referred to as the carnal man. A carnal man is a man who lives by his natural instinct. He's controlled and ruled by his human nature. So any man who is ruled by his human nature cannot please God. No matter how much you try, no matter how much you want to please God, it is impossible to please God. You can see that in Romans chapter 8 from verse 5 to 8. Those who are ruled by their human nature, they are enemies of God. Enemies of God. So you cannot please God if you are ruled by your human nature. So how do you know if you are ruled by your human nature? The human nature manifests itself in so many ways, like idolatry, sexual immorality, lies, hatred, jealousy, anger, and so many other things. We can see that in the book of Galatians chapter 5 from verse 19 to 21. Murder, anger, and a lot of things. So if you can see those things in your life, it means that you are still living within the boundary of the human nature. And those who are living within the boundaries of the human nature are those that the Bible referred to in the book of Revelation chapter 21 verse 8, where he said that the fearful, the unbelieving, the murderers, the liars, as a matter of fact, it made it clear that all liars will have their part in the lake of fire, which is the second death. So those who are led by their human nature, their destiny is hell, and that is the second death. So are you led by your human nature? Again, those who are led by the Spirit are those who are children of God. What does it mean to be led by the Spirit of God? You know, the day you received Jesus and became a Christian and a believer was the day the Holy Spirit came into you. But I want to assure you that having the Holy Spirit and being led by the Holy Spirit, they are two different things. So if you have the Holy Spirit and you are not led by the Holy Spirit, you are still a carnal man. So who are those who are led by the Spirit of God? They are those who bear the fruit of the Holy Spirit. Just like you plant a corn, the corn will grow. At a point it will mature and it will start bearing fruit. That is the way the Holy Spirit comes into us. And if we are a fertile ground, the Holy Spirit will start bearing fruit in us. Only those who have the fruits of the Holy Spirit are the true children of God. So are you led by the Holy Spirit? Do you keep the commandments of God? Like I said earlier, loving God is keeping his commandment. And to keep his commandment, you must be a child of God. And to be a true child of God, you must be led by the Spirit. Because if you are not led by the Spirit, you cannot keep the commandments of God. And if you are not keeping the commandments of God, it simply means that you don't love God. And if you don't love God, you are a carnal man. And what is the destiny of a carnal man? Hellfire. I pray this day that the Spirit of God will take over our hearts and our mind, that every form of carnality in you will lose its hold over your life. And I decree over your life this hour that you will begin to live according to the nature of the Spirit of God in you. The carnal man and the human flesh will not dominate you, because the Spirit you have in you is the spirit of liberation, is not of bondage. And I pray for you as I pray for myself that we will not miss heaven.